Welcome back to Anime Fight Club, everyone. Today we're checking out Baki Dou Part 1, or Musashi Dou Chapters 78 through 80. 78 entitled Friendly Warning. Now in the last video, Matobe sought out Yujiro and found him at some hotel relaxing, and Yujiro told him that he was about to come looking for Matobe. So I'm eager to see the rest of their conversation and if they fight at all, or if Matobe thinks he's about to teach Yujiro something. That'd be something to see. So let's go ahead and get started. Hardy Noques d'Or Cognac, I'm sure I messed that up, but has complex flavors including dried fruit, honey, coffee, citrus, spices, caramel, and toasted oak. Simply stated, this is marvelous. Turns it up, drinks it, swishes it around in his mouth. For a while at that. It's odd that they gave him so many panels. Swallows it, then exhales. Great grapes, aged a minimum of 50 years. So that was definitely some good wine. Good cask too. Oh goodness. These are all the corks from the different wine bottles, right? That's what it looks like to me. Matobe is just sitting there watching Yujiro do his thing. Yujiro reaches in this glass bowl of what I believe to be corks from the wine bottles and throws some in his mouth. Oh, okay, here we go. Italian Galatine milk sweets. It goes well with cognac. Okay, good. So I'm definitely like, why would he eat corks? Like, that's terrible. So they were chocolates. He ate several of them, then drank some more of this apparently super expensive, super exclusive wine. Matobe says, who knew the mighty Hanma Yujiro was fond of Italian milk and candy? I have to say, I've seen a very pleasant sight. I'm in a great mood, says Yujiro as he puts his hands together, cracking his knuckles. Miyamoto Musashi was brought to life. This is a huge chance. I want to meet him. As he grins from sheer excitement, Musashi swirls his glass around, then turns it up, finishing the glass as well. No disrespect, but you shouldn't. You were never supposed to meet him. His words stop Yujiro in his track, and he just sits there frozen. And why not? He's not someone you can handle. After throwing back some of those chocolates himself, Yujiro still just sits there with a blank, stale face. Like, who are you talking to? Like, who are you talking to? Look at his face. It hasn't changed. 10 different images just to show us that his face hasn't changed at all. And Yujiro stands up, clouded in ominous aura. His veins are popping out of his arms and forearms. He puts his hand on this chair that he was just sitting in. Oh wow, what detail in this carpet. But he walks over, looks out of this huge glass window. It's been a short summer. Even the sunlight has faded. So, tell me, Matobe Izo, who is this talented man that can handle him then? Yeah, because that would mean someone else on the planet is stronger than Yujiro. Matobe stands up, pushing himself up against his chair. Don't fret, Hanma Yujiro. You were protected by the era and the modern world before he arrived. Now, I'm the only one that can protect you from him. You and all the other Korakuren fighters so have no fear. Man, what tall words. Yujiro goes straight to Super Saiyan 2. His hair is standing up, it's super spiky, Ozaru eyes, he has his fangs out, there's veins all over his forehead. Man, so Yujiro's pissed. Takes a step into the ground, says, I'm gonna kill you. Looking at Matobe. And as Yujiro steps over to rush at Matobe, an explosion goes off, throwing Yujiro backward and surprising Yujiro. He looks for Matobe only to see an open door and no Matobe, like he's escaped. Chapter 79, Duty. So Yujiro's looking around, can't find a Matobe. All he sees is this open door and some smoke. Looks like he yells something else out of anger, then starts to propel himself to start running. Okay, so he runs out of the room. Now he's in the hallway, looking all around, still covered in smoke, where there's smoke still everywhere. Still no Matobe to be found. Yujiro looks back down the hallway, back in his room. His eyes are watery from the explosion. His thoughts are confused. He has never been one that had experienced fear of anything. Don't fret, I will protect you. You were protected by the era and the modern world before he arrived. Protected? What? Never before has he been protected. From the time he was born until now, never has he been protected by another human being or creature. Man, so those words alone would have definitely set Yujiro off. And then to have that explosion go off and then not be able to find Matobe, that should have put a little bit of fear in him, because where's your opponent? Then we get images of him at birth. Even at birth, he has always been in control of himself. Even when breastfeeding, he had authority over his mother. Goodness. And you remember when we were going through, I believe it was one of the guys, no, it was the end of Son of Ogre, when we were talking about Yujiro, and they pulled Yujiro out of his mother. Yujiro's presence told the woman that was giving birth, that was delivering him, to be careful, but to do it right. Like, it was just insane for you to give off that aura as a newborn. And then to control your mother's feeding habits, like, that's crazy. Nobody could protect anyone else or anything from him. He always dictated who could live and who died. Being protected was overwhelmingly unfamiliar. It was not something he cared for or even considered. And that made him angry. So Yujiro takes this stance, stumps, and that stump alone, or just the force exerted from his aura, shatters this window, which this window is made to protect the people inside from falling outside, from like suicides and whatnot, and fights being thrown out the window. But him striking this pose alone cracked that glass. Insane. So it shakes the whole building. You can see the speed lines going vertically up and down the entire building. There's people in there screaming, ah, oh, an earthquake. What was that? Matobe is already at the exit, exiting the building. He was terrified. He's shaking, he's sweating, drenched in sweat. He leans his head back in relief and then exhales at the fact that he's still alive. That was definitely something to do. I mean, he showed Yujiro something, that Yujiro isn't always prepared for everything, but he was still in great danger. So after realizing he's safe now, he exhales and says, ha ha, that came out as I expected. The hair of the ogre stood on end out of anger. Yeah, he definitely had the legendary Super Saiyan look. Looked like the original Broly. Or Trunks, Rage Trunks. I did what I set out to do, to protect Hanma Yujiro. So I'm guessing he showed Yujiro that there are definitely still tactics and techniques that he's not aware of or acclimated to. Hanma Baki, Shibukawa Goki, Jack Hanmer, Orochi Katsumi. All the modern day fighters can't visualize it. I am the only one that can, and also how to counter it. I followed the path of the traditional arts of war. Finally, somebody appeared in the world that follows the same path that I do. So naturally, the duty falls onto me to face him. Man. Oh goodness, so Musashi feels Yujiro from all the way from Tokugawa's house. Tokugawa didn't feel a thing. He's sitting there puzzled, wondering what Musashi's looking at. Is there something the matter, Mr. Musashi? What an amazing aura. I see. Did you call another special person to challenge me? Eh? To the one out there. Why don't you just come in? Goodness, so he can send somebody outside the door. Tokugawa looks over. Oh wow, it was Yujiro. I didn't expect him to. I thought Musashi was feeling his aura from, across the city, but Yujiro was just right outside the door. I guess that's more believable. You can see his aura distorting this vision of the door here. Yujiro's presence is just otherworldly. I love it. No, it's him. Yujiro. You know him? Musashi looks over with excitement. He grins and says, Well then, even if he comes uninvited, that's alright with me. I will be pleased to meet him. Yujiro's standing there waiting to be allowed to enter. Chapter 80, A Strong Rival. We have a beautiful image of Yujiro here in his ogre form, which is just super dope. And now we have Tokugawa's grounds, I believe Tokugawa's grounds, the outside of them. We can see the border of the street and his property. As people walk past, see a wasp. Every time I see a wasp now, I think of Jack, even in real life. Hey, Shumei Kano, head of security at the Tokugawa residence. Oh, this man just caught this wasp by its wings. Wow, he's a lot cooler than I thought he was. Have the seasons changed as this bug is trying to get away? Hey, calm down, little fella. Oh goodness, and something happens, making the hair on the back of Buddy's hair stand up. His eyes change. He looks behind him only to see Yujiro, the ogre in person, standing right behind him. I'm sure his pants are full now. I definitely would. Anytime Yujiro walks upon somebody and surprises them, I just feel like they have to empty their stomach contents. Like, what other option do you have? You just gotta poop on yourself and hope he doesn't want to stink after beating the crap out of you. So Yujiro shocks this man, that makes him let go of this wasp. The bee goes, or the wasp goes flying, the bee, wasp, whatever it is, goes flying straight toward Yujiro as Buddy says, Mr. Hanma, sir. Yujiro prepares to flick this bug right as it gets close to him. He flicks it right as it gets close to his face, destroying the bug completely. All of its pieces, wings, legs, bones, skin, everything hits Buddy in the face. He says, he's trying to swat it away. And that makes Yujiro smile. I guess that was fun for him right quick. You're in charge of security. It shouldn't be this easy to sneak up on you. This is the first time he's spoken to me. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Why are you coming in from the back? Surely it would be more dignified for you to come in through the front gate. That would be a bit coarse, wouldn't it? After all, I'm not here to drink tea now, am I? Well, we have a guest. Tokugawa stands up to greet Yujiro. Yujiro? He's standing here, clouded in aura, super just ready for anything. And this is super dope to me. Like, I have butterflies because every time somebody walks into the room with Musashi, he instantly slashes them. The first thing he does after like noting their presence is slashing them. He kills them multiple times just as like practice for himself, I guess. So I cannot wait to see if he tries this with Yujiro, and if he does, what Yujiro's reaction will be. So Yujiro's standing here looking super menacing, looking down on Musashi. Musashi standing there sitting here sipping his tea. Mr. Tokugawa, another cup if you would. Tokugawa's shaking, turns around to go get that cup. Comes back, I guess sits down on the pillow. Grabs the tea or the sake. He's still shaking. Musashi takes the glass of sake and pours some for Yujiro. Fills it all the way to the top. You can see the brim of the liquid bubbling over the glass. Yujiro turns it up, drinks it, empties it. Musashi fills up his cup, does the same. Are they about to have a drinking contest? Musashi smiles. Oh, My. So Musashi's looking at Yujiro and he's getting a vision, just like he did with Goki. When he was looking at Goki, he actually saw flowers, whereas Goki saw lava. So now Musashi's looking at Yujiro and he sees gold bullion, I believe, or some type of gold chip, some type of rich currency, if I'm not mistaken. It goes as high as the heavens. My. So he can definitely sense and appreciate Yujiro's prowess, his strength. Well now, what can you visualize at this moment? In front of me? Even though I got the real Miyamoto Musashi in front of me, what I visualize is something else. Oh my goodness, then that's the end of the volume. So we'll have to wait till the next video to see what his thoughts are while looking at Musashi. Leave a comment below if you haven't seen those chapters. What do you think Yujiro sees while he's looking at Musashi? If you know, please don't spoil it. Let everyone else guess and be excited to see what's coming next. Please hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, share with your fellow otaku. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have, thank you very much. There are links in the description for the playlists, as well as Kang and Ashura if you'd like to catch up to any given point. I hope you'll hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. Hope to see you next video, and as always, otaku for life.